The opinions of this podcast are solely those of the creators and do not reflect the opinions of the filmmakers involved. If you are of legal drinking age, feel free to have a drink with us, but please do drink responsibly. You're listening to Cole-astic Cinema.
They're heading for the canyon. They're going back to the Citadel.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Damn you, Salazar!
With your hosts, Fabian Salazar. There's no bells in college. And Cole Butterfield.
My first note, Ted Raimi.
Where we talk about movies.
Most of the time.
We're back, and I'm pretty sure my co-host is possessed.
Skip-a-da-bow, ship-a-da-long-a-dow, but in control.
So come along for a ride and have fun.
Tell Scarlett I do give a damn. Tell Tony Tim I won't be coming home this Christmas. Pardon me.
Those are all solid arguments. Why is my volume so low?
I don't know. Something to do.
Oh, I think it was because
yeah,
that was the track I was using to record earlier. Oh, okay. Welcome to Cole-astic Cinema.
Howdy. That's a lot of coughing for a start to something.
Yeah, it's a good start to this.
My throat is now warmed up and clear.
It's nice and buttery. So, unfortunately, Tony Todd passed away.
Losing a lot of icons this year.
Yeah, we are. He passed away on the 6th, just a little bit ago. So, in remembrance of him, we are going to be watching the 1992 movie Candyman.
Girl can take a rainbow, wrap it in a sigh.
Well, arguably the more creepy Candyman.
Yeah. Tony Todd can.
Tony Todd can.
Here's what I know about Candyman. I don't think I've ever actually watched it, just like watched it. Like everywhere I go, everywhere I've worked, a whole bunch, like it's always a Halloween staple. It's always like popped up. So like there's been times like sitting down, drinking a beer, you look up during Halloween, TV's playing a movie, and it's like been like it's been Candyman a few times. I don't think I've ever watched this thing all the way through. Like even as a kid, it would always be on the background, but yeah, I don't think I've seen it all the way through. I think the only one I've seen is a 2021 one. 2021 one?
2021 one. Yeah.
2021 one, yes.
2021 one, which only has Tony Todd's likeness in it. And voice, I guess. But yeah, like I said, this movie was made in 1992. It was directed by Bernard Rose. It's based on a book, The Forbidden, written by Clive Barker and adapted by Bernard Rose. Mm-hmm. Stars Virginia Madsen, Tony Todd, Xander Berkeley. It was filmed in and around Chicago. It was made for $6 million and grossed back $25 million.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, this movie was very, very successful.
Oh, damn. Nice.
Yeah, I really like this one. It's a little tough for me, though. Like the first time I watched it, I don't know where my head was at, but I tried to watch it. I fell asleep like halfway through and woke up. There's arguably one of the most pivotal parts in the movie that I woke up during, and I had no idea how the fuck Virginia Madsen got there. So I was kind of like, I'm gonna have to watch this again.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to finally string all the pieces, like all the select bits that I've seen like throughout my entire life, because this movie came out like a year after I was born, like in 92. Yeah, so a year after I was born. So this has just been around, and I've yet to actually see it. So I'm excited, like. Especially because, it's held in such high regard. It's pretty much taken like it's because I remember hearing about Candyman and like reciting it 5 times in the mirror and then turning it off before I ever saw Candyman or was aware of Candyman. Like that's which I guess is part of the
legend preceded
itself. So which kind of is the whole point, I believe, from what I can tell of everything. So which is really kind of cool to think about. Is like it reached all the way in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Utah, Altamont. Some just like Kid Cole's like. It's either that or Bloody Mary.
At that point, excuse me. At that point, when like you can get a little bit closer to the microphone, not that close. At that point, when the legend gets all the way out to like the rural areas, like, do you think like, I'm sure it's been passed around so much that like the people in those areas don't think of it as like, oh, this is just a legend from. It's like an actual legend.
Yeah, no, it's like
Candyman. Like if you take Candyman, like Candyman is an actual legend now.
Yeah, so it's the same with like Bloody Mary, like the Hook Man.
I have no idea how Bloody Mary originated.
Neither do I. I thought about doing a deep dive. That seemed like too much of a rabbit hole that would have deviated away from the movie. So I kind of like pulled myself back from diving in. But I'm really curious to see how.
Guess I'm going to have to watch the episode of Supernatural again when they hunt Bloody Mary.
Well, they also hunt the hook man, which they also explain like that's just another urban myth. They pretty much just keep teens from hooking up in cars because Catholicism's like no, there's
because Catholicism is a great religion.
It's so great. It brings for a lot of great stories and ways to scare people straight. Like
that's the whole thing.
Yeah, like the hook man. That's a fun story. Like it's terrifying, simple, easy. Just a young couple getting frisky, hot and steamy.
Yep.
In the front seat, and then
a convertible, Letterman jackets, cheerleader outfit, and just going
poodle
for
skirts, all that nonsense.
A man with a hook,
and then a man with a hook hand comes, and then just and then violently murders teens because. Reasons because they were frisky. That's the reason why do so many horror movie monsters go after any teens is because the teens are horny and they're doing bad things.
No. What were we talking about? Candyman. One of just many great iconic horror movie roles Tony Todd has been in. The Mortician in Final Destination was arguably it was a toss up between those two, but I think he has a little bit more screen time in this than he has a lot.
He doesn't show up until the 44-minute mark from what I read, so.
That's true. But he has more than just one scene.
Yeah.
He only has one scene in Final Destination 1 and 2. And I don't even think he's in 3, 4, he's in 5. But only again in one scene.
Well, I'm glad you chose Candyman just because I don't think I have I don't know if I have the strength. Like I'm working a lot. I don't know if I have the strength for Final Destination. I remember watching that in the back of the bus on our way back from a basketball game against Helper. We're like riding back and somebody just had their portable DVD player because I'm fucking old. Then we all just watched like Final Destination in the back of the bus. I remember just certain scenes, like being able to predict what was going to happen, like which one of the first times like I felt like a semi-competent moviegoer.
Hey,
it's like, oh, that's right, I can predict what's happening right here. It's like, no, I don't. No, I'm good. I can't even say like the word bra. I can't watch this. I'm just gonna have to go pass out in the few seats ahead from this. I don't know if I have to.
Yeah.
And also then just the log scene from Final Destination 2. That's
so good.
Forever seared.
Yeah,
that fucking
that highway scene is just so good.
Oh my god, fucking terrifying.
Speaking of that, being able to predict movies, like I was very heavily in film school, and I was just like let's watch a movie with my buddy. He's like, okay, how about this? And he threw something on. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, have you seen this? I'm like, no. And he's like, what, you don't think it's going to be good? And I was like, no, but like from the first 30 seconds, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. He's like, why? What's going to happen? I'm like, okay, so here's what's going to happen. And I described the entire plot of the movie. And he's like, bullshit. And after the intro, as soon as we got past the intro and the movie started, he's like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah, I could tell by the fucking cover. Like, it's low, but I'm like, this is what they wanted to do. Or what they wanted to do was too much money, so this is what they did.
Yeah, this is what they got. This is what they were able to work with. Is just, those fun moments when you're a kid and you realize, like, oh, like, maybe this movie's bad. Like, I remember, like, watching The Happening. It was on a date. It was played at, like, we had 2 theaters in Roosevelt. One was the double feature theater where, like, all the movies that were coming out, like, still a little bit later than, like, initial releases. That would come out, but then you had the one where those ones would then move over to the cheaper theater, just like the one single showroom, and we went and saw The Happening there. I remember like just sitting down, like because I was like I was terrified of signs as a kid.
Oh yeah, signs freaked the fuck out of me.
Even more terrified of The Sixth Sense, especially since Haley Joel Osment's name is Cole.
Yeah.
And just like I remember vividly the scene of the ghost girl just puking in his little tent. Like, I will never be able to unsee that or unthink about that. So I'm like, okay, I gave The Village a chance, and like this started off like a decent idea, and then just shit the bed with the fucking twist.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're going to give him one more chance. Let's fucking go. And then The Happening, I'm just like, I think this movie might be fucking bad. I don't think this is a good fucking movie.
Hey, have you ever tried making a movie? It's really hard.
Hey, it's like the plants are angry or something.
Dude,
no.
That's kind of how I think about all of M. Night's shit. But it's like every now and again he comes out with something that's like, okay, that was fun.
Like Unbreakable. I liked it. Unbreakable was fun.
It was also one of his first
movies.
Split was
amazing. I thought.
I love Split.
Well, the fact that James McAvoy came in just like because Joaquin Phoenix like stepped off from the project.
Oh shit!
So he was he was second string, and then just He does an amazing. That movie's fantastic.
I don't know if Joaquin could have bulked up to be the Beast though, but McAvoy's a fucking tank, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, he did fantastic.
Like,
so yeah, Split was awesome. And Glass was just like pure dumb fun.
Yeah, it was. I watched that one on a plane.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's
man,
definitely
this
a plane.
fine.
Yeah, it's definitely a plane movie. It's fine. It's fun. It's got some fun ideas, like interesting use of colors and the whole themes on superheroes and stuff like that. You got Sarah Paulson doing an incredible job as always because she's the goddamn fucking shit.
She's always good.
And I will fight for her. Come at me in the comments if you have a fucking problem with her. I'll gouge your eyes out.
Same. I watched Devil when it came out.
Oh, is that's the elevator one?
The elevator one. Dude, have you seen that one?
No.
Dude, it's actually a really fun claustrophobic horror.
Oh, God, oh, man. No, claustrophobia. I mean, I'll be down to watch it, but claustrophobia just fucking gets
honestly,
me,
I thought it was a really fun claustrophobic horror. Like, it was actually not too bad, but he couldn't put his name on it because he had just done The Happening and nobody wanted anything to do with him.
Yeah, definitely.
So I thought that one was fine. Like, it was fun.
Was it The Happening that did it or Lady in the Water?
Oh, Lady in the Water killed it. Yeah. Lady in the Water killed it.
Because if I remember correctly, like they have a whole book about how he just had carte blanche on fucking Lady in the Water, and that's how you ended up getting that because it's just a pure unhinged, no notes Shyamalan.
Yeah, that's just terrible. So yeah, and then let's see. The Visit was fun. I liked The Visit a lot. That's the one where the two kids go to visit their grandparents and they're kind of crazy and shit. I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it.
Okay. So that one's fun. I liked that one. Let's see, what was that? And then his most recent Trap.
Yeah.
Like I saw that a couple weeks ago. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. Josh Hartnett was fucking charming as shit and creepy as shit in the same sense. Like if you watch it, like knowing the premise, like it's kind of there's
knowing
no
the premise.
there's no stepping around it or anything. Like he is charming, but he's also creepy at the same. He's so good at being a serial killer.
I mean, that's awesome. Just the premise, though, it's to trap a serial killer. 2,000 cops in a stadium full of 20,000 people.
The idea is dumb, but it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. And yeah, it was like the incompetence would be like he just gets away all the time, and it's to a ridiculous nth degree. It's funny, it's actually really fun. I recommend it. I don't highly recommend it, but I recommend it. It's worth a watch.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't see it in theaters, but definitely pick it up on streaming. Anyway, getting back to Candyman.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're watching Candyman.
So we're gonna be exploring a lot of themes of racism and beating down the disenfranchised and everything, especially in the 90s. I don't know, Cole. Was something going on in the black community during the 90s? I'm not totally sure about that.
I recall it was a pretty mellow time. Just from what I read in history books in my small town. With how they paint everything. Nothing happened. Everything was fine.
Yeah, I bet they did. So yeah, we're going to be
Civil
exploring...
War was over states' rights.
We're going to be...
And that's where I come from, Farm Planet.
We're going to be exploring a lot of those themes. Couldn't have come out at a better time. I'm not quite sure. Maybe let me look up real quick when the book was written. Because being adapted and everything, maybe they adapted more of it for the time, but I'm not.
I think the book came out like if I remember looking it up, like I want to say 88 or 89. Okay. And then and that was set around Liverpool. That was more about British classism in the original book.
Oh, well, classism.
Yeah. But specifically in
85.
85. Damn it. It's close though.
Okay, so yeah, they heavily adapted it.
From what I read, Rose definitely wanted to adapt especially for that area.
Yeah.
Being inspired by like murders and certain things happening and that
wow. I mean, great adaptation though. Like, oh yeah. Honestly, this will be the 7th time I've seen this movie.
God damn.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the sequels?
No, I've only seen this one and the 2021 one.
Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of the other ones. I didn't even know they made sequels, so I was looking it up. I'm like, oh my God, there's sequels?
I've heard the second one's fine, and then the third one's just kind of eh.
I mean, that's a problem with fucking horror movie sequels.
Yeah.
Unless you're like the Nightmare on Elm Street, where like the first one's like, this is fun. Second one, eh. Third one, you're like, this is fun.
Oh, the second one's good if you're gay.
Yeah, well, that's an entire thing. He's just trying not to be. Oh my god!
And then Freddy coming out of him. Yeah,
yeah.
It was like,
no, I've decided to be
how
my girlfriend.
subtle can we be? Not at all.
Not at all. No,
cool.
Right on the fucking nose.
Sweet. I think it was also funny in the interviews, like that the actor that played the main character. I think his name is Jesse. I'm not sure. But yeah, he's like, yeah, no, I hadn't even come out when that movie came out, and then like looking back on it, I was like, oh yeah, it's all there.
It's like, oh yeah, no, oh, awesome, yeah, no, that's So, yeah, I mean, from that perspective, it's definitely a lot of fun, but like the rest of it kind of just falls apart.
Yeah,
it's definitely
I hate bringing Freddy into the real world unless it's in a final situation where you're gonna beat him in a final showdown. Like anytime it's like,
or he's fighting Jason.
Or he's fighting. Well, yeah, exactly. That's the final fight situation, which I guess they kind of did in this movie, but it's more so he comes into the world and starts slaughtering the party. Like that's not Freddy.
I would be down to do a Nightmare marathon. Because I've seen the first 4, or at least the first 3.
I have all of them.
And then the remake, and also saw Freddy versus Jason. I enjoyed the remake, but I know the remake's pretty divisive.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I saw it in theaters because that was when I started getting really heavily into horror movies. Like this is what I want to do. This is my thing. So yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. I love Rooney Mara. I love Jackie Earle Haley, and I love I guess I don't love him if I don't know his fucking name.
I love what's his name?
I like him. I think he's a good actor. Those of you who know his name, throw it in the comments. He was also in Smile.
Jack Nicholson's son.
No,
that's Smile too.
But also, yeah, perfect casting for that. Let's see. So yeah, the first one is the first Candyman is a lot of fun. And yeah, it plays a lot. I haven't seen the sequel, so I don't really know how much they play on it. But the 2021 movie plays a lot in the same themes, but they bring in like gentrification and everything. But it plays in that same realm where Candyman's more of an idea, and as long as he's an idea and a legend, he can still. He can rest. He doesn't actually have to go out and kill anybody.
Which is why at the end of the 2021 remake, spoiler alert, he says tell everyone.
Like, tell everyone. Yeah. And I won't, because I won't talk about that, but I won't talk about this one, but that same idea kind of comes through in this one where it's like he needs to stay a legend. Everybody needs to know that he's around and everything, and he can stay dead. He can stay gone. But eventually, times come as they do, and he has to come back to be like, hey, I'm still here. Like, these things still happen.
Oh yeah, no, I was doing some research, I think it was like a few articles regarding the 2021 remake and its connection to the original one. And yeah, pretty much how they kind of skip over the sequels and just pretty much say from their point, it's like, Candyman to Candyman in 2021. But they do cover some of this stuff, like in the shadow puppet scenes at the end. I didn't realize those are actual. They credit for various Candymans pretty much for every time there's like any racial injustice like that. And there's one that I was looking at, like involves somebody being pulled, like picked up in a car and then beat, was like actually from 1998, like because the first couple are like 1944, 1920, 1955, and then it's like 1998.
There's one that's clearly just an insert for Rodney King.
Yeah, well, no, even the 1998 one. This was a guy who got a ride from a bunch of white supremacists, and they
the horse. Yeah, they put him in the horse thing, and they like his limbs, and they pulled him apart. Yeah.
That was metaphor, because what they did, like, there's one where he's being dragged for miles. They assaulted a guy.
No, that's right.
Yeah, assaulted a guy, like did some unspeakable things to him, then chained him up, and then dragged him. And so that's what the 2021 remake or sequel is saying, is that like pretty much anytime that happens, Candyman still exists and must always be talked about to come and almost becomes more vengeance in the Candyman 2021 as opposed to
and again, like that being said, like the first one in 92 and then the 2021 one, like they couldn't have come at a better time, because 2021 we're still very, very hot on the George Floyd topic. And then like remember there's one, I know that one's based on a true story, which I wish I knew more about, but like the little kid that got arrested and
the 14-year-old who was then he's one of the he was also one of the shadow puppets where he is another one of the Candyman.
And they fucking elected they fried
electric
him.
chair for a 14-year-old who's accused of murdering two little white girls was then confessed in heavy quotation marks after assault and bribery, and then was tried by an entire jury of white people, and then 14 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And there's one line in the 2021 movie that just hits every time I hear it. Is the guy that's explaining Candyman, like the idea and what it is. Like his line where he says, "Candyman is the way that we." What is it? Fucking what is the line?
What's his word?
Damn it! I have to look it up. I have to look it up because I don't want to get it wrong.
Is it the guy who's handing out candy before he gets shot up, or
no? It's he's the kid
because he's the candy man.
The
kid. No, because the kid who was the baby from this movie, if I recall correctly, from the Candyman.
Not Anthony.
But like, there's a guy at the beginning of the 2021, like where he's actually handing out candy, and then like
not that guy. The kid that he was handing candy to when he's grown up. The actor's name is Coleman Domingo. His character's name is William Burke. Let's see. I'm going through. I'm trying to find quotes. Let's see.
Burks.
Because I don't want to get it wrong. Let's see. Candyman is a way to deal with the fact that these things happen to us, and they're still happening.
Nice.
That's what it is.
Solid line. Definitely worth the wait.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. That one hits me every time I watch that movie.
Yeah. No, I do like that as a concept behind it, and also just the fact that like through stories, that's how things like continue.
Yeah. And I've made this. Excuse me. I've made that point before too, but I've made this point on the podcast where horror movies are they're one of the perfect genres to take a controversial subject and just shove it in your face. Mm-hmm. And this is one that is very highly controversial, and which really shouldn't be. People shouldn't be getting killed, but Candyman is a great way to take that idea, or just take this subject and be like, look at this. Yeah. This is what's happening. And that's why I love the horror genre. It forces you to look at things you don't want to look at. Like you can walk around in the world with your rose tinted glasses and be like, oh, everything's so happy and dandy and everything. And then horror movies, you're like, no, they're not.
Well, hell yeah, dude. Well, I see we get close to wrapping up this preamble. Do you have a script in mind?
Oh, fuck.
Well, while we think about that, when we hit a quick pause, because I got to piss.
Yeah, I'll pause it and start looking up scripts. We're back, and I'm pretty sure my co-host is possessed.
Skip it a bear, ship it along now, but Luke in control. Yeah, dude, some things happened while I was gone.
The amazing half man, half clam.
Half man, half clam.
All right. So we're going to be reading a bit from Final Destination because we're just going to read the scene with Tony Todd in it because. And so I kind of want to be Tony Todd.
And that would be
Mr. Bloodworth.
Mr. No. No.
The Mortician.
No.
Dude.
No, it's not.
Dude, that's not even the worst one. That's not even the worst one. See the
oh my God.
See the character name Clear?
What?
Clear. Her name is Clear Rivers.
Oh my God. That is amazingly awful. Oh my God. The embodiment of death is a mortician named Mr. Fuck off.
Oh dude.
God.
Once you know that coming back to these movies is just a fucking laugh fest.
Actually, you know what? I'm ready to come back to these movies now. Knowing that, it's like, oh yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, yeah, no, that's not.
Everything in the background's just cheesy as hell.
Oh my god.
Okay, so do you want to? I guess you can. Yeah, you can read for Alex.
I can do Alex, and you want me to do Alex and Clear, or do you want to just be Mr. Bloodworth, or?
I'll read Clear, I guess.
Okay.
I'll be Clear Rivers.
All right. Clear Rivers. That's so fucking. Oh my god.
Okay.
That is so dumb. Spawned a franchise.
Interior morgue, funeral home, night. A lone desk lamp shines. Across the room, laying on a porcelain table, fluid draining tubes attached, lies Todd. A sheet is pulled up to his shoulders. He carries the macabre appearance of a corpse having been made up by a mortician. Hair combed and sprayed, skin tone too orange, blush too rouge, and lips too red. As Alex and Clear approach.
That him?
I think. But why'd they make him up like Michael Jackson?
That's him, but he's not here. That whatever made him Todd is gone.
I don't know why we both chose Southern, but
I don't know why.
Suddenly Todd jerks, his hand lifting 4 inches. We read it at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
You
My
fucking
God.
asshole.
Oh.
You think this is
He's
funny?
not
You
dead.
fucking dick, Todd. You're not dead. I'm going to fucking kill you.
Please, don't yell. Both are jolted again with shock, turning toward the voice. Mr. Bloodworth. Camera pushes. Low angle to... Oh, that's odd, seeing a cinematography choice in the script. That's not usually done. An African-American man, early 50s, dressed in dark suit and tie. You'll wake the dead. He flashes a dry mortician's smile, pleased by his one pun.
Oh, my God.
Alex and Clear haven't recovered from the corpse's actions to calmly address Bloodworth. Here, let me turn my mic real quick before we continue.
Why?
Alex completes his question by raised hand, a la Todd's dead body. Bloodworth nods, understanding. Chemicals in the vascular flush create cardioveric spasm. I'm trying to do Tony Todd, but it's really fucking hard. As the startle of the situation settles, it dawns on Alex that they have been busted. He nervously offers an explanation.
I'm a friend of his best friend. See, his father.
I know who you are. The mortician's eyes Alex, understanding. Alex senses this and eases. Clear moves towards Todd's body, examining I was trying not to laugh at Clear, examining the neck areas. Yeah, they said he hung himself, but there's no marks. I crafted a reconstruction of the laryngeal prominence region within velvetone, surgical wax, and promoseal. I was trying really hard not to burp during that. Clear moves in for a closer look, then calls Alex over to the body. After a beat of reluctance, Alex looks at Todd's neck.
Is all that technical jargon really necessary? You do realize this is sort of just one of them movies where shit happens, right?
Cuticle lacerations.
All right, just fucking ignore me, then I guess I'll get fucked. Clear? What do you got to say?
Why would they say it's suicide if it weren't?
That's
That's written perfectly for him. Because of the supernatural message he received, Alex is reluctant to answer. He eyes Mr. Bloodworth, who, with a wry half-smile, eyes Alex as if aware of the reason behind his hesitation.
His father's pretty fucked up with denial. Maybe he couldn't deal with the thought of another accident, taking another son.
In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes.
Bullshit. Bullshit. There's a lot of fucking accidents, dude. Sorry, Mr. Bloodworth, not to tell you how to do your goddamn job.
Suicide, murder, plane crash. What does it matter? He was going to end someday. From the minute you were cut loose from the womb, it's a one-way ticket on a trip to the tomb.
Is that a fucking rhyme?
You may not realize it, but we're all just a mouse that a cat has by its tail. Every single move we make, every single move we make, every sound you make, every breath you take, death will be watching you.
And that's you, right? Like, I mean, why else would you be talking? That's got to be you. I'm calling bullshit right there. Ain't no
It's all part of death's sadistic design, leading to the grave.
Design?
Oh, good hell.
Ooh, man, yeah, you chose it.
Yeah, I did.
Your bed.
If life is like a box of chocolates, death is like a big Milton Bradley game of mousetrap. The day you're born is just the boot hanging from the street lamp, kicking the marble to get these things rolling. Growing up is only the marble rolling down the curved chute. You feel immortal, having survived school, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But you've really only upset the big hand holding the steel ball that falls into the bathtub. Marriage and kids and career seem to make it all worthwhile until the ball hits the seesaw and flips the diving man into the big barrel. In the old folks' home or the hospital, you just see the big cage rattling down until it captures the mouse. Game over. Oof.
All right. Okay. So maybe there's no way to win, but if you figured out the game, you knew where the steel ball was rolling, couldn't you avoid the trap and extend the playing time? Couldn't you cheat death at its own game?
That last entire diatribe by Mr. Bloodworth, that was so like try hard early 2000s.
Yeah, no, all of it. That's how I was thinking the entire time. None of it really connected to anything. It's just a string of sentences
like,
that have like hold on, scroll back up. The fuck is it? Okay, like first of all, if life is like a box, fuck off. Death is like a big Milton Bradley game of mousetrap. What?
So I don't remember any of this being in the movie, which they might have filmed it, and then Milton Bradley's like, "Fuck no, we're not giving you a fucking endorsement."
You
deal.
feel immortal, having survived school, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Fuck off.
Oh damn.
And then he brings a bathtub in for no fucking reason. First, it's a board game.
It plays like the fucking, I don't know, a guy about my age, like 28, going like still hanging around high school kids and like telling them how shitty life is. God damn. Anyway, you already did that by walking off the plane. Fuck.
What?
I just decided to turn him into Clint Eastwood for some reason. Now, you gotta get out. And death will always be coming at you. Play your hunch, Alex. If you think you can get away with it. If you're lucky. But beware, the risk of cheating the plan, disrespecting the design, could initiate a horrifying fury that would terrorize even the Grim Reaper. And you don't even want to fuck with that, Mac Daddy. That is in the movie.
I'm sorry we broke in.
No harm, no foul.
Fuck off.
Yeah, we didn't find what we was looking for, but if you could point me towards Valentine, I'd be very appreciative.
Yeah, we found what we were looking for.
I'll see you soon. Jesus. Any excuse to start working on my Arthur Morgan.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
You already did that by walking off the plane. Now you got out when you death will come. That's what. Now you gotta out. Oh, now you gotta out. And how will be? And how it'll come back. I don't like how that's written. Now you gotta out when and how it'll come back. Oh, you gotta out when and how. Okay, I got it. I still don't like how it's written, but I
it's just so edgelord fucking. It takes me back. That kind of dialogue takes me back.
Take me back
to a simpler time.
All right, to go watch a better Tony Todd movie.
Yeah.
we'll be right back with Candyman. We'll let you know what we think.
Candyman can.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Oh my God, yes! Fucking love that movie. Getting us started here while I'm waiting for Cole to get back from the bathroom. Holy shit, that movie is one of my favorites, and it just keeps growing on me every time I watch it. Especially with the 2021 movie coming out. It just gets better and better and better. So one thing I want to preface while we get started, I want to save all of the continuity. There we go. All of the continuity between this movie and the 2021 movie. Let's save those for the end so we can avoid spoilers for those who haven't seen it. Let's just go ahead and start with what we got in our notes. And me, right off the bat, one of my favorite things, my first note, as soon as the movie started, the score. The score is just incredible, and I'm so happy that they kept that throughout the franchise, even into the 2021 movie. It just is so good. The piano, the do-do-do-do-do-do, that's so fucking good. Love it so
especially
much.
for like the guy made it before he even saw the film. It didn't feel like it felt like he had a whole different thing in mind when he made it. And then, like, it still somehow worked. At first, it was like, I don't know. But now it's just like, yeah, no, man, that shit's like, it's funny what 30 years will do. It's like, yeah, no, man, shit's iconic. Didn't mean to do it, but here we are now.
That's some of the best iconic stuff is like, yeah, I just threw something together, and now we look at it.
I thought it'd
today
be more like
holy
this.
shit.
It turned out to be more like this, and I guess people liked it.
Nah.
Fuck off.
Okay, so one other thing I wrote in my notes, the projects. So I didn't say in the preamble, but yeah, 92. I wasn't even thinking about calling just low income housing the projects. This is entirely set in the projects of Chicago, and how that flows into the 2021. This is one I can talk about without giving away anything. How that flows into, it was like, yeah, the projects were set up as low-income housing. Yeah, here we go. And now that gentrification is coming through. It's like, all right, let's flush everybody out of the projects.
Set up as low-income housing, and then they end up remodeling stuff to where you get Helen and her apartment.
Yeah, and you got to flush everybody out that can't afford it anymore, and then make refurbish those buildings as high. Yeah, that's exactly
like she said, just slap some plastic on the front of it, and then you sell it for what? Well, how much you pay it for? I don't want to talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, way more than what it's worth,
or what a grad student would make.
So you can, yeah. God damn.
My first note.
Yeah.
Ted Raimi.
Fucking love that boy. God, that boy. He's like 40 years older than I am.
He's the bad boy trying to seduce the Christian girl.
Oh, God. So good.
Looking like goofy.
Google, I mean, those of you who don't know who Ted Raimi is, Google Ted Raimi real quick and imagine him as a bad boy.
Yeah, like I can imagine him like as a bad guy now. Now that he's older, he's definitely kind of grown into his face.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He'd be haunting, terrifying, but just like
he's
young, scrawny.
Those of you who are like driving or can't Google, he's J. Jonah Jameson in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he's the glasses guy that's saying it's hip, it's wow, it's now.
It's like, yeah. What about Doc Ock?
Yeah, that guy.
Or it's like, how about the Green Meanie?
That guy being a bad boy.
Yeah, it's, oh my God, dude. He's a bad boy because he rode up on his motorcycle with his leather jacket.
His little BMW, or no, it was a Honda. His little Honda.
He got a beer out of nowhere.
Not to discredit Honda. Those are some pretty good motorcycles, but...
I mean, the few that I've ridden have been Hondas, so I'm a little biased.
Fun. They're fun, but they're not bad boy motorcycles. They couldn't spring for a fucking Harley.
No, I rode a Honda motorcycle for All Shook Up, the fucking Taming of the Shrew, but set to Elvis music play that I did my senior. No. I rode in a Honda Shadow. In the auditorium.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, still though, like I wrote it in an auditorium for a play set around Elvis Presley music.
If you're gonna try and go bad boy, like a Shadow's fine, but like one of those high rise like little
fucking
no. If anything, like when I think bad boy motorcycle, I think Harley, Indian, or a chopper.
Yeah. Oh, I know, absolutely not. Just an upgraded scooter.
Yeah.
And then just, I mean, my first couple of notes were just the opening because it's, I mean, I see where they're playing on like old horror movie tropes and like it's like I get why, especially when you're telling a scary story.
That might be
about
a big
Candyman.
reason why I love this movie. Yeah,
which I totally get it because it's like a horror movie about horror movies and horror stories,
legends
and and stuff that are carried on. But it reminds me of the almost all this time later, kind of how ridiculous it is. It's like, oh yeah, so like. Here she is. She's getting ready to hook up with this bad boy. She's a Catholic girl. She wears the cross, but she's more than happy to take her shirt off. And right before they're about to do anything, she's
only
like,
above the clothes stuff.
Yeah, but before anything even happens, have you heard the legend of Candyman?
and he's in the background like, fucking, I mean, she's hot, I guess.
All right,
whatever.
okay, yeah, no, please tell me the legend of Candyman.
Tell me the legend of Candyman. I guess I can.
I get it. You are getting a little bit nervous. Because you haven't gone this far before, which you'll say shortly afterwards.
We've all been there.
Yeah, which I get. You like kind of like ways of distracting yourself. It's just like, hey, so we're about to get hot and heavy. Have I told you about this guy that appears out of mirrors and then kills you with the hook hand?
No, shut up.
no, take your top off. Shut up.
Well, technically, her top was already off.
The undertop.
The undertop. Take the undertop off. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Oh, one of my favorite fucking things about this movie, which... granted, I've seen it so many times, but I never thought about it. The lighting. The lighting is so fucking pretty. It's so old school.
Oh, yeah.
Old school monster movie lighting to where I really want to watch this movie in black and white. Like they have like that thin veil of light over Virginia Madsen's eyes and the harsh shadows of the X's over her face when she's talking to Jake. Yeah. Like, holy shit, the lighting in this movie is pretty. It is a very, very pretty movie.
Oh, very well shot. Like, even oh my God, 32 years later.
Yeah.
This movie came out the year my brother was born. So, Jacob, I know you're listening. You're fucking old.
You're old. You're older than me. That's saying something.
You're almost as old as me, and that's saying something.
All right.
Old ass bitch.
What do you got in your notes? Because I can go on for a while about mine.
I don't have a shit ton of notes, mostly because it was really awesome to just watch the movie and finally have all these scenes I've seen throughout 30 years.
Yeah,
finally
for sure.
pieced together. It's honestly kind of like Helen in the movie of hearing these tidbits of a story and then pursuing it to get the whole picture of the story.
Yeah.
So my journey to watching Candyman is very much like Helen's journey.
No, it's good.
Although
I like it.
I don't have the level of just white ignorance and positivity about everything that she does. Like, it's going to work out. It's okay.
It'll be fine. I can just walk into the projects.
Yeah, walk into the projects looking like a cop, but I'll just say I'm not a cop and being just...
I'm surprised she didn't get killed the first day.
Yeah, no, bitch should have.
Yeah.
Like just
even Bernadette's like, we shouldn't fucking be here.
Which is what, like, that was one of my notes. Is like she's like chastising Bernadette. First of all, she stops in the middle of the goddamn road, like they're on the highway. She's like, "What are you afraid of?" Like, pretty much just like making Bernadette feel like shit.
I'm not afraid of the fucking urban legend, bitch.
I'm afraid of the real fucking danger of going into the projects.
And that's a huge part of the Candyman legend and everything. And that leads into my next note was I love that there's a long period, that 45 minutes before Tony Todd shows up. Was it 44? 44 minutes before Tony Todd even shows up.
Yeah.
Wondering if Candyman is even a thing. And like, there's like, oh, discredit his legend. Like, that's just, he's a legend. He's a legend. That's so much fun. That's a fun ride of being like, oh, it's scary. There's this legend. And oh, no, it's actually just a drug dealer. Oh, no, actually, there is actually an urban legend behind it. Like that ride is really fun if you're in the right headspace.
Oh yeah, no, especially if you have no idea. Like if this is like your first time coming to the movie, fresh face, just like like a vague idea when things happen. When he does show up, it's like it is very gratifying.
Oh yeah,
like because like I've said, I know a lot about this movie. It's been around forever,
and people
just like when he shows up, it's like motherfucker, and he's also in the distance for so long.
And people have talked about that scene to death, but it's so true because like that entire wait for him to show up, and then he shows up and he's just got this big, booming voice and this commanding presence. Like, I'm fucking here. Shit!
Which also leans, although as the scene plays out, leans into her blind white optimism. Like, well, I'm just going to try to communicate with this guy. Get in your fucking car. This is a booming voice. Somebody's talking to you by name that you do not know in a very long trench coat with some fur lines going on.
Oh, God. Beautiful.
Arms tucked behind the goddamn back.
Goddamn beautiful coat.
Get in your car and drive away.
That's what she tried to do.
Dumb. No. She tried talking to him for a minute. She's like,
oh, yeah. She did. She's like, who's that? Because
you just got assaulted.
They were at the university. That's a safe.
Oh,
listen,
yeah.
That's a
right.
safe.
Nothing bad ever happens.
That's a safe,
at
happy
university
space full of
campuses.
educated people. Yeah.
Just educated morons. Nothing bad happens.
Nothing bad happens in these.
It happens in the projects because I'm just as dumb, ignorant little white lady. Like
exactly. Yeah. You've got a very stellar point there. But yeah, she does eventually try to get away.
I would feel more comfortable in the projects than just being alone in a university parking lot.
Yeah. I don't like being alone anywhere.
I don't like being alone anywhere, but like I'd rather be like in the projects, like, okay, I have no idea what's going to happen here, whereas I know what's going to happen on a fucking university.
I think they both go hand. The Venn diagram is basically a circle on that one,
and it all is around just how ignorant and stupidly confident this white woman is the entire time. Just
yeah, that's true.
Like up until the very end, she's like, "I'm just going to go back home to Trevor and just, it's just."
I'll go back home to Trevor after a month of being in a psych ward,
which I just found out, which means that like I was drugged out of my mind.
Also, he moved on. Well, he was basically out. He was
already cheating.
Yeah, he
like,
was already.
That was incredibly obvious. That's why homegirl's being couldn't even make my guy. Yeah. But she's like, hi, and then very assertive. Like she's clearly fucking the teacher. Like that's why she asked about it, but because she wants to be
also
just like ignorant.
Again. And we've made this point several fucking times on this podcast. Don't fuck your students.
Yeah, it's super easy.
Yeah,
it's super easy not to do.
It's not that hard. If a student comes up to you and says, "Hey, I want to fuck," you say no.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. That seemed pretty challenging. You want to try that one more time? Oh, let's role play. Let's role play for a minute.
Okay. Are you a student?
I'm a student. Okay. And I think what you're doing is really cool and you're very insightful. You want to fuck?
No, and you need to go study. Get the fuck out of my office.
Boom. Done. Easy, folks. How fucking hard is that? Don't fuck your student. Trevor!
If this comes up again, I'm going to tell the dean and you will be kicked out of this university. Now get the fuck out of my presence.
But I'm not wearing a bra.
I don't give a shit. Get out of my fucking office. All right, I'm calling the dean. All right,
but the dean's my dad.
Oh, cool. Then I can fuck you for a promotion. All right. God damn it, I got trapped. All right.
Trapped. It's a callback.
All right. What's my next note? Okay, no, that's in the 2021 movie. Trying to avoid spoilers.
You're just doing back and forth between this and its sequel / reboot.
A little bit, but they both play into each other. Like that's
that's what I like about it.
That's the true sequel
Yeah.
to this movie.
Yeah, and having seen it, like that plays into it really well.
Yeah, how much do you remember from it? Oh wait, I'll ask you that later.
Okay,
Don't answer it now.
Sorry.
I'll ask you it later. Yeah. Progression of stories. Damn it. That's the next one too. But no, it plays into this. I'll recap this one again. Right. But progressions of story through word of mouth. So there's a lot of stories in this movie, especially like we start on one where it's just word of mouth, like, oh, so-and-so's ex-wife's brother's sister's cousin told me this story's about this
roommate's ex-friend.
Exactly.
What does that make us? Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Exactly. So, but that's how it goes, and the story gets interpreted different ways, and it gets shifted and shifted and shifted.
Yeah, like with how I was able to hear about the story in the middle of nowhere, Utah, just because it just passed on from person to person to person to person. Like the person who told it to me was a kid my age that he had heard from his mom, who told him that story because she's a terrible mom apparently,
or she's just a fan of horror movies.
Probably both, based on what I can remember, and I will not disclose, but probably both.
All right. Let's see. Damn it. All right, let's get into your notes because mine's not until way later. My next one's not until way later into the movie.
I'll get into some of my earlier notes. Fucking Trevor.
Yeah. Trevor is Virginia Madsen's husband, who is a just complete shit show. He's the professor that's fucking his students, by the way.
He sucks. Well, he's fucking his students teaching fucking
teaching urban legends when she asked him not to because she's writing her thesis on it.
But as part of his curriculum, because I'm guessing he's an English teacher, I guess some sort of fictitious English teacher or...
Well, here's the weird part, because I want to bring this up. He says, the bell rings and he says, that's lunch. Number one, college doesn't have a bell. Number two, college doesn't have lunch. And if any of that is an indicator to where we're at, the student he's banging, I don't know where her age lies.
Yeah. Also,
all of that is fucking problematic.
Also, it's the same thing that every movie does in a college scene. It's like, we're now getting into the point of the lecture that's going to pertain to the rest of this movie. Yeah. All right, and that's lunch.
There's no bells in college.
No, there's not. You pretty much wait until another student walks in. It's like, oh shit, I think you guys are still going. Sorry.
Yeah, almost. It all depends on whether or not the professor is really into what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah. Well, something else that I noticed, because I don't know why. So she's a graduate student. She's not. Yeah. She's not teaching there.
No. She's working. Well, I don't know. It's never brought up.
Because I feel like she might have been kind of teaching, probably because Bernadette is also like they're both working on this thesis together. They're interviewing other students, and they make the joke that they keep it younger and younger. And then you cut to Helen, what seems to be like in her office, because she's using the computer to type her dissertation.
She does have an office.
Yeah, but on the chalkboard is math equations.
Okay, so maybe she's an adjunct professor. She has her master's and she's working on her doctorate.
On her doctorate for a dissertation involving urban legends for.
That's the best. That's the only scene. That's the best guess we got. Right
I know. That's just me. Yeah. That's just me being.
No, I'm with you on. I'm with you on that too.
It's like, what is going on? What is this setup?
Because I'm also my biggest question was, how the fuck did they afford that apartment?
Exactly.
Well, it was 1992.
Also
in Chicago.
1992 in Chicago, in the remodeled part of the projects. But also, like, she talks like she has her own place, and then she goes over to Trevor's place. But I think they live in the same place, but they're rarely in the same place at the same time. Probably because he's cheating on her the whole time. Place.
Well, if she does have,
because she takes the mirror off the wall, which actually is also in Trevor's place when he ends up. Okay, no. So still, it's a student, a graduate student, and a teacher, which
a graduate student with probably in 1992 still probably like. Maybe $78,000 worth of student loans.
Yeah, with some unknown job, which she's allowed to take massive amounts of times off for. So she
we never see her job.
Never see her job. And the entire time
this movie's unrealistic. All right, moving on.
This movie about a man coming back as a haunting spirit being summoned 5 times in a mirror with a hook for a hand for no goddamn reason and connected to bees for no goddamn reason is unrealistic, and I have a problem with that.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the guy coming back with a hook for a hand and bees.
Okay,
I have a problem with the fucking housing.
That's another note I have is okay. Look, I get racism makes us do stupid things.
Yeah, it does.
But, okay, so how the story is told by fat, gross Stephen Fry with the gross ass hair.
Discount Stephen Fry.
Shout
out CinemaSins.
Was that on CinemaSins for this guy?
Probably.
Okay, because that's just me who I thought. I was like,
This was a very early CinemaSins.
Yeah, this looks like this is clearly discount Stephen Fry. What would I explain? Because
shout out CinemaSins, give us a holler.
Yeah, but like pretty much saying like, yeah, I wrote the paper 10 years ago, and it's like, and so what happened was a former slave made a lot of money with a machine that's able to auto manufacture shoes during the Civil War.
Yeah.
His son was then sent to the best colleges and everything, very prim, proper, and quiet.
Right.
And he had a proclivity for art.
Yes.
So he is hired by a plantation owner to draw a picture of his, and I quote,
"There's your first red flag is a plantation owner."
And then his second red flag, and I quote, "virginal daughter," which is how he does. That's how Stephen Fry described. But then they end up falling in love. She's pregnant with child, and then they end up.
What? Okay. Shout out. Tell us in the comments, how many of you describe your daughters as virginal?
And leave your full names, your address, and just just leave it there. Just for no fucking reason. Where I'm just curious. It's all for the engagement.
Jesus Christ. We're falling off the rails. All right.
Well, it's just because this is incredibly problematic.
Yeah, well, I don't like that phrase at all. Virginal?
Virginal?
What the fuck does that mean?
Virginal daughter. And he gets a bit of like a wry smile going on. It's like his virginal daughter.
Yeah, his virginal daughter.
And then follows up, and they fell in love.
So what are
you?
Your fault? Like you're. The only way I see you calling your daughter a virginal daughter is if you want to fuck your daughter.
I mean, if it's not a plantation.
Oh shit, you got me there.
But then, because this incredibly well-educated and charming artist, like he's
then go ahead.
Yeah. Obviously, he can be laying some pipe, dude. I mean, come on. Like, he's like drawing her. He's drawing like one of his French girls. He probably had a French girl.
Yeah, he probably had her
going to the fucking art school and shit.
Think about it. He's painting her. You're there. You're talking. She's in a pose for forever.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got like your dress and everything on, and she's like, okay, well, I'll do the same pose in the nude. And I was like, oh, sweet. But so also, I can paint all the trees and shit behind you while I'm just.
And also, like, you're not going to fall in love with a Tony Todd dressed like all to the fucking nines, dude.
Dude,
like,
if I was
waxing poetic,
if I was sitting there letting Tony Todd paint me, I'd fucking fall in love with him.
Fall in love with him too, man. Come on,
God.
Now. Come on. And so
who isn't in love with Tony Todd?
Assholes. That's who.
Yeah.
But then, so to like just punish him, they cover him in bees.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at.
I know, just the quick cut.
No, the quick cut of us being like, "Oh, I'm in love with him." Punish him.
Punish him.
Punish his asshole.
Oh, step on my genitals.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, to punish him, cut off just his right hand, which I'm guessing because he was a painter, it was his dominant hand, but just the one fucking hand. Shove a hook in there because fuck it, why not?
Cut him in honeycomb and let the bees.
Not that he can try attacking me with this fucking stuff. It's not like he's gonna be like swinging around his fucking.
They beat the fuck out of him. He can't do it. He's like.
No, he's got the passion of an artist.
Well,
right?
yes,
he's like 6'5", all right? And he's Tony fucking Todd.
Yes. All these things are true, but they did basically lynch him before they did that.
Well, I mean, not even
so
quite
he's
lynching.
Not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to move. They beat him so bad he's basically dead.
Yeah, and then it's a single dismemberment, cover him in honey, and then release bees, and then after that, set him on fire.
Yeah.
That's just too many steps, man.
It is a well. I agree, it's too many steps.
I
thought you were arguing that he wouldn't be able to fight back with a hook hand.
Oh, I mean,
they cut off his hand and replaced it with a hook, and now he can't fight back.
And with what looks like barbed wire wrapped around, so like that motherfucker stays.
Yeah, it's on.
Even though we plan on burning you alive.
I know that's in hindsight that was a bit ridiculous.
I mean, no, it's all over the top and dramatic, which makes for a great fucking movie monster.
It's also Clive Barker.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Which I do have a note on. I do have a note on that. So that's my last note. We'll get back to my earlier notes later, but that is one of my notes. The Clive Barker writing, everything he says, he says, the pain will be immeasurable, but death is bliss, and all that shit that he's saying to Helen is like, oh, that's peak Clive Barker.
But also just
that's like straight out of Hellraiser Bolt. Like,
and the
let's
pain,
fucking go.
I promise, will be exquisite.
Like that's God. Peak
dude,
Clive Barker.
Dude, Edge Lord, let's go.
Fucking love it. God, I fucking
got
love
some problems.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
dude,
God.
Clive Barker brought S&M into the mainstream.
God damn, dude.
Let's fucking go. I love that shit so much.
That doesn't quite.
I'm not an S&M person, but I love that being brought into horror. That pain is pleasure. Like. It's so much fun.
Well, it adds a whole nother level to it because now it's not just, out of a perverse joy. It's like a sexual joy. It's a lot more primal and intimidating because it's like, not only is this person happy they're killing me, they're fucking hard the entire time or sopping wet the entire time.
Again, like thinking about it, like in the sense of horror movies make you think about things that you don't want to think about. There are people out there that enjoy S&M and BDSM and all that and all those things, and I'm not here to kink shame. Do what you want to do. It's not for me, but do what you want to do. And I love that also in this movie and all the Hellraisers be like, hey, pleasure is pain. Do you want to experience pleasure like you've never experienced it before? Let's fucking go. Like, I think that's fun. Bringing it into the light, like, this is the thing.
I'm just going to stay quiet so I don't reveal anything about myself to the listeners.
Okay.
And think about that what you will.
Think about it what you will.
The next note I got is something that's always bugged me since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Why put razor blades in candy?
That bugs the fuck out of me too.
Why? What's the point?
Why?
Like now, like the whole thing is like fentanyl in candy. Like, okay, I get it. You know, try to get kids hooked on drugs.
Nobody's putting drugs in candy. Nobody's putting shit in candy.
No.
One, drugs are expensive.
Yep.
Two, well, I can't argue against the razor blades and shit.
But why?
Because
what's the point?
I don't understand it. I don't understand it either. You have to be a crazy, evil motherfucker.
My theory, since I was a child.
Yeah.
It's just so parents can eat your fucking candy.
It's a good one.
It's just so they can fucking eat your fucking candy, dude.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. Also, like, I've been like seen stories like, oh, gotta be careful. Somebody might put their edibles in your child's bag. No, they're not.
No, they're not. Drugs are expensive.
They are distinctly labeled, and also, if I am that high, I'm not answering the door. I'm gonna get to the point where I'm leaving the bowl. Like, just I know
Take
the next.
what you want.
I know the next motherfucker that shows up is gonna dump the entire thing in his goddamn bag, and then everyone else can be all pissed off and egg my fucking house. I don't care. I'm high, and I'm watching Candyman.
Again, like you don't have to worry about people putting drugs in your kids candy. You know what? Drugs are expensive. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to pay countless like fucking tens of thousands of dollars just to drop drugs in your kids candy.
It's because
drugs are expensive. They're not going to do that.
It's because parents can't go trick-or-treating and they want that candy.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Drugs are expensive only because I think I've been told that once or twice.
I'm going to stay silent right now so the listeners don't.
Call back to 30 to 20 seconds.
20 seconds ago.
Let's see. Okay, so I've got one for the end of the movie where you're at. Where you're at.
Where you're at? Why Candyman ripping dicks off?
That's a good question. Because
that's a few things that didn't make sense. Like some of his mutilations, like where he's like, so little homie is talking to Helen about like Candyman existing right there and how he knows of the story you heard, where this little boy who is,
which
I don't like the word he uses.
Yeah, he uses the R word.
Yeah. Saying like, because he was a little weird, but most likely he was the R word. And then one day his mom was over doing something else. He goes over to the public bathroom, and then everyone just hears screaming, and they find his dick in a toilet.
Well, it could tie back into the point I brought up earlier, where it could just be word of mouth shit that never happened.
I mean, like kind of like a game of telephone, to where like it starts off a certain way and then becomes something more.
Because the only way that would have happened is if the little kid said Candyman in the mirror 5 times.
Yeah, and then turned off the light. You have to turn off the light. Is like the next, like you could say it without turning off the light, because then he won't appear, because that's what Helen did at first.
Oh,
whereas
the turning off the light doesn't transfer over. Like I think that's purely just for this movie. But even then, it's purely just in this movie, and that still wouldn't count. He could turn off the light, but like, is there a light? I don't know that whole exchange. I think he was just trying to scare her into going away and getting away from the guy that was masquerading as Candyman at the time.
I mean, maybe, but then for the rest of the movie, the kid's like, no, Candyman's real, and that's when he ends up getting everyone else to come down and light the bonfire.
That's true.
Where the only person who apparently can hear the child whining is Helen, but everyone else is like, nope, Candyman's here, let's light that fire. He does
take a beat when the guy pops up. He takes a beat and like turns around and calls the guy Candyman. Or was he just saying that? Was he trying to warn her and they were trying to... it all raises... These are what the best movies do. They raise more questions than they have answers for.
No, like this is really a great movie. There's just certain things that happen, which like I get like for a horror movie, for a thriller movie, like that makes sense. But like for Candyman's his ultimate goal is his reasoning. Is it just to fuck another white chick?
Well, I mean, he always said Helen was always the one. I think she's the pseudo reincarnation of his original
so we're getting like
lover.
we're getting a Mummy Return situation going on, where reincarnated lovers and shit.
I think that's kind of the idea that they were doing with that.
Just to tie her in, but also have all this other excellent insight and commentary on just racial inequality and divides that are happening all the time. But also, like,
I think if they, which is, again, not spoiling anything, which is why I think the 2021 movie did it better.
Yeah.
Because they got rid of all of that, it's legends and reincarnations. It's just Candyman.
Yeah, and talking about destiny, Candyman. And it's always been you, and
but they do have a little bit of the destiny in the 2021 one. Well, and we'll get into that later. Okay.
I'm getting close to the end of my notes, but that's just something that kind of just throughout the movie kind of drove me a little nuts. Is I wasn't entirely sure. Like, at first it seemed like he just wanted to terrorize her because she denied his legend, and her thesis could possibly discredit his legend and then diminish his ability to exist without existing, like he talks about.
And you could also make the argument that that's why she came around, is to discredit his legend, to bring him back to get her,
because she's the reincarnated version of the original. Yeah. So I mean, don't need that storyline.
This is the content you listen to us for.
Like, I don't need that story, like reincarnated lover storyline. I really don't think you need that. It's where, like, I agree with the 2021 remake. The power of stories and like rumors and legends and urban myths and stuff that we tell to each other as a way of communicating certain dangers and also maybe even sometimes certain injustices. Like there's morals to like Aesop's fables and like you got Trials of Gilgamesh, you've got the Odyssey, the Iliad. All these old stories are pretty much just like long ass metaphors, and that's what stories pretty much are for the most part. Is just a big ass metaphor for things that pertain to the real world, and that having power because belief generates power. Like we see that every day. That belief is power when it comes to like religion or people believing that things should be a certain way. There's definitely a rising up of that because of the belief, and there's a tangible property to that. And I like the idea of exploring that as opposed to reincarnated lovers. Helen's hot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dude, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I love the story angle so much. That gets me right in the chesticles.
Okay.
It's so interesting.
We're going to take a short pause while we go pee, and we will come back with the similarities between Candyman 1992 and Candyman 2021.
Candyman and Candyman. I feel like I'm talking out of my ass.
No, dude. This is good content. I like this. I like this a lot.
Oh, the power of stories. The power of storytelling. Well, which actually is real. I was reading a few articles today, like regarding why we tell stories and its importance. I was going through National Geographic, Psychology Today, briefly touched on Fangora regarding this movie, but just the. Already said it before. Stories, man, they're fucking powerful. We do it for a reason. That's how you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can imagine like cavemen, like telling a story about certain animals and shit.
Literally writing shit on the wall.
Yeah, like the earliest documented one they have of like an earliest documented story is on like a cave painting wall in France from like 5,000 BC. I'm probably wrong on that, but it's definitely super fucking early. So we've just been telling stories, and like the boogeyman has been present for so long.
Well, dude, fear is a basic human, or like what I don't.
It is the mind killer, the thing which brings total obliteration.
Fear is fear. I don't know.
Well, not necessarily fear. Fear has its place because
get back to me on that. I will have a.
Well, fear definitely has its place, but in regards to storytelling, where horror movies tell that it's way of. Okay, once again, talking about ass, maybe being a little personal here, is telling horror stories is a way of touching on things that we should all be aware of, like you mentioned during the preamble.
Yeah, I think
things that
that's
we don't
more
talk
of a
about
modern,
and bring it forward. But
that's more of a modern thing.
But even back in the day when we first started telling stories after the development of language, like you tell stories about like large animals and monsters hiding in the dark.
Yeah,
stories of the gods controlling things that you didn't understand.
Because fear is a universal concept, or like. Some people don't feel fear because they're sociopaths, but
yeah,
lucky.
Like, but must be nice.
But like we all experience fear, whether or not like it's like if you're not scared by horror movies, yeah, that's great. But are you scared about a guy with a gun to your head, or are you scared about losing your house? Or are you scared of like?
Are you scared of the concept of two dudes kissing?
Yeah, everybody's scared of something. And if you're scared of two dudes kissing,
then grow the fuck up, dude.
Grow the fuck up.
Have a rational fear like I do of clowns, all right? Yeah. Stop being afraid of that shit.
Everybody's scared of something.
Be aware of the real threat. That's fucking clowns.
So that's what's always fun. Okay, so I think at this point I want to bring it to the 2021 Candyman movie. And those of you who want to watch it, who want to avoid spoilers, I will give you this time to click on a different video or do whatever.
Just hit pause.
Hit pause, like, share, and subscribe, and hit pause, and do your other thing.
And then please watch the Candyman 2021.
And then please watch Candyman 2021.
Awesome.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's see. What do I got? Oh, coming full circle as an artist.
Gay.
Yes. Well, maybe I'll come back to that. No, I already brought it up.
You already brought it up.
I already brought it up.
Don't you tease me.
Coming full circle as an artist. So, the original Candyman, Tony Todd. Okay, so Tony Todd's Candyman was an artist, and he painted on the plantation, got blah, 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 all the thing.
And we just covered.
When we get to the new Candyman, Anthony Mackie.
That's right. Mackie's his last name. Is Mackie his last name? That
No,
can't be
it's
right.
not. That's the actor.
that's the fucking Falcon.
No, it's not. That's the Falcon.
And that is the comic book connection.
God damn me. Oh, shit.
Okay, so Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie. Okay, so what is his last name?
Doesn't matter by this point. It's fucking
Anthony Mackie. So Anthony Mackie, he just flew home from the airport scene in Civil War, and decided to paint some paintings, and that's the connection. Anyway, no. So Anthony in Candyman 2021. He's an artist. He's a painter, nonetheless, and that's all coming full circle.
Yes, I noticed. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Not just like when he starts feeding the blood.
Okay. So I have a question. Oh, now that you brought that up,
yeah.
So when he feeds him, I have a question. Do you think he's already infected him? He's infected the next generation. Do you think that's like oh God, my brain is working faster than my mouth. I'm sorry. I've been doing this all day.
Oh yeah, I'm aware, dude. That's like the third time you've said that to me today.
So, yeah. Before that scene happened, I knew it was going to happen, like 20 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! So I had to write it down. I was like, is this him being like, okay, you're gonna be a Candyman one day. Get ready for it. And I don't know. Do you think that's kind of like in the?
Do you really want to know what I think?
Yes, I do.
Do you really want to know?
I do want to know.
Do you really? No, I need you to take a second.
I really want to know.
Take a second, because your mind's going too fast. Think about it for a second.
I want to know.
All right, fine. Okay. So, here's how the two movies are connected. Because
I want to know.
Can you show me?
Sorry, I couldn't.
I want to know about the strangers like me.
Okay.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
So, Tony Todd.
Yeah.
He's got that big dick energy. He's swinging it around. He's painting portraits of all the motherfuckers.
With his dick.
Laying pipe. Knocks up the daughter. We don't hear what happens.
With his dick again.
Yeah, but we don't hear what happens to her. We hear that she is pregnant with child. We don't hear what happens to her. My theory is she gives birth to the child lives, and that's how we end up getting to the actual descendant, which is Anthony, which is why he kidnaps Anthony, feeds him his blood as a way of solidifying his actual bloodline, because in between the movies, and which is shown through the shadow puppets, there's a variety of Candymen, which are persecuted black men and black people who are taken out like in the most racist of ways. But this is his way of continuing his own bloodline, particular to him, is my working theory.
Dude, that's solid. I'll fucking...
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because they never say what happens to the daughter.
I'm in for that. That's fucking awesome.
I mean, I don't know what they say in the sequels.
If they don't solidify that, that's in my head canon.
That's a headcanon right there.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's solid. I like that a lot. Okay, what do I got? What else do I have against Jesus? What else do I have for the 2021 movie? I mean, that was basically it. But the doctor who, which one I want to talk about. So she says Candyman in the mirror 5 times, and then Tony Todd comes behind him. Dude, okay, so that's like a lot of like a lot of horror movie slashers, like just fucking stab and slice and it's like, oh my god, it's so sharp, blah 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 blah. That scene, he just pops up behind him, is just you can hear him just fucking grunting at it, like ripping the hook on his back, just fucking. Just ripping it up his spine.
That's what I find hilarious about the method of killing with a hook is she's caught with a knife in her hands every time. But if you do any type of like forensics, it's like there's no way in hell a kitchen knife is doing the kind of damage that a fucking hook would do.
You're 100% right on
supernatural abilities.
Yeah.
So Trevor, you could have just kept on cheating on your wife and not had to worry about any of that shit. Just
how the fuck does that link? What?
Just wait for forensics, Trevor. I'm batting for my boy Trevor now.
Oh my god!
I took a piss and I'm trying to help Trevor out now. That's right. I am now the villain.
I will help a wife cheating on her husband, but I have nothing for a husband cheating on her wife. That's bullshit.
No, that is bullshit.
Anyway, but no, like his fucking like, just like it's. I don't know. Something resonates something resonates in me with that just grunting, like working.
I think
the
it's
hook
the actual
because
it's less in that moment. It becomes less supernatural and more like realistic.
It's more realistic. It's more brutal. It's more, real, like the realism of trying to drive a hook up somebody's back.
Yeah.
Like,
whereas like in Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp becomes a blood volcano.
Exactly. It's just the slash done.
Yeah. Whereas this is like. Ah, shit, caught in a vertebrae. That's another vertebrae. Yep. Fuck, this is why I normally do this from the front. From groin to gullet.
I got to the ribs, but they're not quite giving.
Son of a bitch. I knew I should have oiled up before this. God damn it.
But it was good. Okay, so I missed one in the... I might splice this earlier because it's in the movie, and I really want to get this point across. But give me clarify word story. Okay. So to continue with the word of mouth thing, like, so in the 2021 movie. They're in Anthony's apartment, right? Mm-hmm. Anthony and his girlfriend. Fuck, I haven't seen that movie in a while. Fuck, last time I watched it was with you.
Yeah,
that was like a year and a half.
Ago, like KG's place.
Yeah, but they're in Anthony's apartment, and the girlfriend's brother is talking about. He's trying to tell the story of Helen and everything, and how she killed the dog and stole a baby and whatnot, which is this movie, and that's not what happens. But that ties back into my whole thing about like stories being changed by word of mouth, like also because there's all the news coverage and everything of it, which they could go and see, which basically says the same thing, but doing any of your research, you wouldn't find out that Helen actually brought the baby back out. And
which is why they all show up at the funeral afterwards, because they realized she was actually being framed by Candyman the entire time.
It's all the choosing what you want to believe.
Which is why in the 2021 remake, she's like, we stopped talking about it. Like, no, she actually saved you, but we had to stop talking about it, so he stopped existing.
Yeah.
So, which is also, like, if you want to stop a story dead, if you want to stop a certain power or belief going, just stop talking about it.
Yeah.
If you don't talk about it, it has no power over you.
It's true, but people are
kind of.
But people are always going to talk about it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why myths and legends and even dirty laundry like that persists throughout.
Even now, I'm a legend at Hopkins. So
I'm a legend everywhere I go because I'm Cole fucking Butterfield.
Oh, okay. There we go. Toot your own fucking horn, asshole. All right. Don't do that into the mic. I don't. You need to work on your mic game. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. Also, I'm trying not to catch my split lip on any of the fucking microphone because I have to.
Anyway, there was, let's see. Oh, Bert.
Bert.
I never tied it back in. Fuck, I'm going to have to edit the back half. So the Dr. Burke, who I just talked about getting ripped his asshole open, Burke, that's the last name of the guy that tells Anthony all about Candyman in the 2021 movie.
I mean, I guess starting from the bottom is the softest place to work with a hook. I mean, that's why when he says go from groin to gullet, which is a Shakespeare reference from Macbeth, same as with sweets to the sweet, which is another Shakespeare reference.
Is this a parallel in an anagram? What the fuck? What?
What?
I don't know. I'll cut that. Doesn't matter. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, because you talked about, like, mentioned that he, like, started at the ass and then went up for Dr. Burke, but that's what you just said. Like, he starts at the ass and then works his way up. That's what you just said. Roll back the tape. You just said it. Yeah, trust me. But which ties into the fact that when Candyman first starts talking about it, he'll rip you from groin to gullet, which is a Shakespeare reference from Macbeth.
Oh, that's
sweets
actually,
to the sweet, which is also a Shakespeare reference. But also, I imagine if you have a hook for your weapon on your stump of a goddamn arm, the softest place and easiest place.
Don't be stumpist.
I'm going to be stumpist.
Bitch.
It is literally shoved into the fucking flesh. I imagine stopping against the bone and then barbed wired on.
All right. I got my last point. That was my last point that I'm going to put at the before the ad break. Not ad break, piss break. So there's one shot in this movie that absolutely killed me that I had to write down. So it was one of the ones closer to the end of the movie, but it was a slow push in, and it was again against one of those like flat walls of the apartments, and there was a hole, but you could barely tell there was a hole. Like we've experienced all movie. There's holes. We're going through the holes in the whatever, what have you. Mm-hmm. But what was in the background of the hole was lit in a way to where it looked like it was flat. So like the wall was painted and it looked like it was flat. And as we pushed in and we went through the hole, like it changed and it actually turned into the hole. I don't know. It's really hard to describe, but I really fucking loved that show. Like it was so cool. It was a 2D shot that pushed in to reveal a 3D shot. It was really, really
coming
fucking
out of the mouth?
well done. No, it wasn't out of the mouth. It was just a standard. It was on the backside, like so the mouth was on the other side of the wall. Maybe it was that, but yeah, it was a little bit later in, and I had to write it down because it looked really fucking cool. And yeah, man, the only subtle giveaway of it was there was a hole, and you could tell the wall was there, and the hole, but it looked like it was flat. But what was in the hole was separate rocks and like the ladder that led up to where whatever was in there. So that was colorful. God, it's so fucking hard to describe.
So what you're saying,
yeah,
is that there's a hole in the wall where you can't see it all?
Well, the boys can.
And that's where you cut it off.